Hey y'all, so for what I eat in a day, let's start with breakfast. First, I'm going to be using this tofurkey sausage, an avocado. I think I really want to try to make some fancy avocado toast today. And I'm also going to be using this fitness bread. Now, this is something I haven't used in a while, but it's pretty decent. And I'm also going to be frying up some tomatoes. Okay, let's get started. So before I do anything, I have to fill up my gallon water bottle, and I do this every single day. Honestly, I should have done it a little earlier, but I was slacking. But I just make sure I drink this throughout the whole day. Now I'm just going to cut the tofurkey sausage into even slices, and I'm going to get ready to put it into the pan, which I've just coated very lightly with some Pam avocado oil cooking spray. Now, I've only been using this for a short amount of time, but I don't find that it tastes very different from the olive oil spray. I just thought it'd be nice to give something else a try. I just find that I'm very heavy-handed with traditional oils. Okay, so now I'm adding the cherry tomatoes, and I like to just cut these in half before I toss them in, just so that way they cook a little faster and then they don't squish everywhere when you're ready to eat them. I'm using these heirloom tomatoes that I got from Sam's Club, and you see they come in all these different colors, but I don't know why, but the yellow are like my favorite, but I'm sure they literally all taste the same. But now I'm just gonna go ahead and toss them in. And I just wanna add a little bit of salt to just kind of season them up. Oh, that was a lot more than I originally wanted to add, but it's okay. We're just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna let these simmer for a little bit, and then I'm gonna move on to something else. So since I just put my toast in the toaster, I figured I'd go ahead and start cutting this avocado so that way I can be ready to plate in just a few minutes, because the sausage and the tomatoes aren't going to take that long. But it is right now that I figure out that my avocado is bad. And unfortunately, I don't have another one, so that's a fail. So backup plan, I'm going to use hummus instead. So now this is going to be hummus toast, but I'm going to use the roasted red pepper, and I'm just going to spread about a tablespoon on each slice of bread. And I think this actually worked out better, honestly, because I wasn't really thinking about calories when I was putting all this together, or when I had this idea, but that avocado was gonna add a substantial amount of calories to this meal. And it's about, I think the avocado would have been about like 200 something calories, whereas this hummus is only 70 calories for 2 tablespoons. So this actually works out a lot better. So now that I have everything plated up, I just want to garnish really quick with some green onions. And every time I do this, my sister looks at me like I'm just a big giant weirdo, but I think it's so much easier to just use the kitchen shears to cut your herbs and things. Drop a comment down below and let me know if you're team scissors or team knife. Okay, and lastly, I'm adding some red crushed pepper and some everything but the bagel seasoning. Now I know most people get theirs from Trader Joe's, but I got mine from Sprouts. Okay, now that I have everything plated up, ready to eat, looking great. Guys, when I tell you, this toast was bomb. Such a better choice than avocado today. And I still have my water and my tea, and I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this breakfast that I made, and I'll see you at lunch. So for lunch, I think I just want to do a simple grain bowl. And I have this pre-packaged quinoa that I got from the grocery store. It's just been chilling out in the cupboard because we can't go to the store and everything. So this right here is about 180 calories for 1/3 of a cup. And it's pre-seasoned, which is great, so I don't have to do a lot of work. And then I'm also going to add to it half a cup of Great Northern beans, because half a cup looks like it's about 100 calories. So I'm just going to add that in there for some extra protein. And lastly, I'm going to add some fresh broccoli. My quinoa already in the pot, and I'm trying to bring that to a boil. I'm just going to go ahead and coat my pan with some more of that Pam avocado oil spray, and now I'm breaking up the broccoli and putting it in the pan. So because this is fresh broccoli, I kind of just want to give it like a really light saute, and I'm doing it this way because I still want the broccoli to have a nice crunch, because when I'm finished, the quinoa and the beans will most likely be soft. So as you see here, I'm seasoning with just a little bit of liquid aminos, and you only need a little bit because it is very salty. And I'm also using this lemon herb seasoning from Flavor God, and I will link that down below. I got it from Amazon. So the best way to cook quinoa is to bring it to a vigorous boil like this, and then to turn it down on low and let it simmer for the next 10 to 15 minutes. So now I'm adding my beans because we're in the simmering stage. So I'm just going to give that a nice stir, and then I'm going to put the top back on and let it simmer for about 10 more minutes. Okay, so 15 minutes later, this is what we're left with after we let that thicken up for a bit with the beans in there. This is exactly what I wanted. So now I'm pretty much ready to just plate it up. All right, so I have the beans and the quinoa on the bottom, and I have that nice crunchy broccoli on top, and I squeezed a little bit of lemon on top. And this literally took me like 15 minutes, you guys. This was like one of the easiest lunches I've had in a while. So I'm gonna eat and check back in with you later. So since I've been cooking all day, I just wanted to grab something really quick for a snack, and luckily I still had some of these protein bars in the pantry. It's mint chocolate flavor, which is my favorite, and it's 13 grams of protein, so it should definitely hold me over until dinner. All right, last meal of the day. So I'm gonna be making this stir fry kit from Walmart, and I'm also gonna throw in some tempeh, and I wanted to add some extra green beans because sometimes those stir fry kits can be on the light side. And I'm going to add some lemon juice. So now I'm opening up my tempeh, and I'm just going to begin to cut it into these long slices, because I find that they kind of cook better that way when you cut them really thin. And I know a lot of people are on the fence about tempeh and tofu and things like that when you're going vegan, but I will say this has a much nicer texture, to me at least, than tofu does. It's really great for soaking up sauces and marinades. So if you look here, I've added some coconut aminos, red crushed pepper, and some garlic powder, and this is going to go really nicely with the stir fry that I'm going to add to the top of it. So it's browning up really nicely, almost too nicely. I forget sometimes that coconut aminos will burn in the pan. As you can see here, it's getting pretty dark, but I'm trying to make this a one pot meal, so once I add all the rest of the vegetables and some water, it'll kind of deglaze the pan and it won't be so bad. So like I said, if you look here, I've added more veggies, and it doesn't have to cook for too much longer now, because the longest thing that we needed to cook was the tempeh. And so now that that's cooked, we're just gonna let everything else just kind of do like a really quick saute, because I really like my veggies to be crunchy. I don't really like soggy veggies, especially if we're doing a stir fry or something like this. So I added the pad thai sauce that came in the bag and just a little bit of lemon juice, and I'll probably add a little bit of pepper to this just because I like a little extra spice. But I'm just gonna give this about another minute or two, and I'm gonna turn the heat off and let it steam. And this is the end result. So I plated everything up and I was feeling a little fancy, so I wanted to use some chopsticks because this was giving me Chinese food vibes. But honestly, I guarantee you this is like the healthiest Chinese food that you'll ever eat, and it tastes really, really good. Like honestly, like it's almost a tie between this and the toast that I had in the morning. This is so good. It took me about 15 minutes. That's about how long all my meals took today, and I'm so glad that you guys stuck around and watched it all.